As Israel continues to bomb Gaza and attack Palestinians in the occupied West Bank, maybe most people are asking about how did the Israel-Palestine conflict started. In 1947, there was a United Nations vote to partition land in the British Mandate of Palestine into two states, one Jewish, one Arab, following the destruction of much of European Jewry in the Holocaust. According to the Guardian report, neither the Palestinians nor the neighboring Arab countries accepted the founding of modern Israel. However, fighting between Jewish armed groups, some of which the British regarded as terrorist organizations, and Palestinians escalated until the armies of Egypt, Iraq, Transjordan, and Syria invaded after Israel declared independence in May 1948. In 1949, as Israel's new army gaining ground, an armistice agreement saw new de facto borders that gave the fledgling Jewish state considerably more territory than it was awarded under the UN partition plan. The new de facto border resulted to about 85% of the Arab population of the territory captured by Israel. About 700,000 Palestinians were expelled or fled and were never allowed to return. The exodus and eradication of much of their society inside Israel was considered a catastrophe for most Palestinians, and it remains the traumatic event at the heart of their modern history. As per the Guardian report, Arabs who remained in Israel as citizens were subject to official discrimination. They were placed under military rule for nearly 2 decades, which deprived them of many basic civil rights. Much of their land was expropriated, and Arab-Israeli communities were deliberately kept poor and underfunded. In 1964, a coalition of Palestinian groups founded the Palestine Liberation Organization under the leadership of Yasser Arafat to pursue armed struggle and establish an Arab state in the place of Israel. However, it drew international attention to its cause with high-profile attacks and hijackings. The occupied Palestinian territories became occupied after Israel launched what it said was a preemptive defensive war against Jordan, Egypt, and Syria, as they appeared to be preparing to invade in 1967. The attack caught Arab governments by surprise and saw Israel achieve rapid victories, including seizing the Sinai Peninsula and the Gaza Strip from Egypt, the Golan Heights from Syria, and the West Bank and East Jerusalem from Jordan. The report says the Six-Day War was a spectacular military success for Israel. Its capture of all of Jerusalem and newly acquired control over the biblical lands called Judea and Samaria in Israel opened the way to the construction of Jewish settlements in the West Bank, which became central to the conflict. Israel placed the Arab population of the West Bank under military rule, which is enforced to this day. Israel regarded the Palestinian population under its control as largely quiescent even as it went on expanding Jewish settlements in Gaza and the West Bank and expropriating Arab land. Palestinians were also treated as a cheap source of largely manual labor inside Israel. There were a lot of attempts for peace process in the country. However, there has been no progress toward an agreement under Israel's longest-serving Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who has repeatedly said he will never accept a Palestinian state. Currently, his government advocates the annexation of all or part of the West Bank to Israel and the continued governance of the Palestinians without full rights or the vote. Israeli and foreign human rights groups say Israel has increasingly carved out a form of separateness in the occupied territories. The report says Hamas' killing of more than 1,200 Israelis, with more than 2,300 Palestinians killed in retaliatory Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, now moves the conflict into uncharted territory. I am Lovely Montoya of Manila STV.